Nice. I kind of figured once it broke that 375, it was going to pop, and wasn't expecting that much of a pop. Wasn't expecting a full dollar out of that thing. Best day I've had in so long. Awesome. LVWR 402 to 450 with 50%, 478 with another 40%, and all out at 442. Good trading. And here it goes again. Boy, what a monster day we've had this morning in pre-market. This has been amazing. Kathy, Sheila, good morning over there in YouTube. Got our moderators ready to go. Joe, 370 to 440, half out. Todd, 364 to 464. Nice. Good trade. Good morning, everybody out there. Welcome. Wolfpack has been live this morning since about 6:45 on our Zoom meeting. And we got a real nice press release at 7 o'clock this morning on SPRO. That stock went over 300% on that press release. It was a monster. Gurney, good morning. Mark, good morning. Good to see you, brother. See, we got another press release here. ACRS initiated an outperform. Good morning. Well, all right, let's kind of recap here on what Wolfpack's been doing this morning. As I mentioned, we got a really nice press release this morning on SPRO at 7 o'clock, and the stock has gone up over 300% on that press release. So we were right on top of that as soon as the press release came out, and boy did we bank on that one. That was a beauty. Amir, good morning. Then we were watching LVWR. We got a really nice pop out of that one this morning. LVWR, that stock was down around what, $3.18 this morning. It started climbing up. We were talking about it. Everybody was aware that it was moving up. Went sideways for a while, and then all of a sudden, kapow, up to 487. And it's still trying to climb. It's back to 451 right now. It's trying to climb itself back up there. Let's see if we can get it up over 5 this morning. If we're lucky, we'll get it back over 5. And that's kind of what we've been up to this morning. Been watching Brog, of course, from after hours last night. It's not done much. It's been on a decline since 7 o'clock. Now, early this morning, for those of you that trade early this morning, SGBX, what a climb on that stock. Wow. up over 200% this morning in early pre-market trading before 7 o'clock. Wolfpack was all over that one as well in Discord. That one started running before I went live this morning, and boy, what a nice run on that stock. So we've had really 3 of them that have done very, very well this morning. Can't complain about that, man. 3 good ones. 2 of them over 200. Well, one of them over 200%. One of them over 300%. And LVWR, we're still kind of waiting on that one. Now, this was one that we called out in after hours last night. Those of you that were with us in after hours last night, LVWR was one that we mentioned that started climbing in after hours. And boy, it had a great run in after hours. And it's trying again. And we're looking for that thing to break 5 here this morning. I hope it does. It just needs a little bit more volume. I think we might have a shot here, but volume's been decreasing on this one. The last, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes, the volume's been decreasing. So we need a little bit of a turnaround here on volume. We need retail to get excited about this one again. SPRO hanging in there. It hasn't dumped yet. We're going to keep our hopes up for this one. Get back up over 3. Chris, good morning. Did they have an offering? Let's see, they did first quarter operating results about, 14 days ago. I don't see anything on the news feed about an offering. I went back about 14 days and I don't see anything, or 29 days rather. So I've gone back about a full month here and I don't see anything about an offering. Not to say that there wasn't one. I just don't see it on the news feed. AMBR reports first quarter unaudited financials. Let's see. GME, yeah, GameStop is up, or was up on that announcement of buying some Bitcoin. So that had a little crypto play in it. Popped up pretty nice there to 37.28 and then back down to 36.7. Let's go back and look at LVWR. Need to get that back over 450. We can get this back over 450. I think we've got a shot at a good little push here. SGBX still going sideways. SPRO pulling down. We need it back over 250 in a bad way. But we're not going to complain because we made good money on that one this morning. LVWR pushing. Got to get it back over 450. Joby pushing up, Joby. If you'll remember, this one had news out on it yesterday about they got some financing from Toyota. And we mentioned that to you yesterday when the news hit the wire. It's moving up a little bit today. Let's take a look at the 3-month chart here on this one. This one might continue to grow here. Joby might be a good swing play, especially if you got into it yesterday on that news and held. Might be a good swing play. This one might get an opportunity to, over a period of time, could get back up to 10 again. It's been up there a couple of times. But it's not going to happen in one day. That's for sure. Good morning. Eric, good morning. Chris, good morning. What do you think about BlackRock? I don't know anything about BlackRock. I mean, I know what they are and who they are and all that, but I don't have any opinion about them. Joby. SPRO, come on, get back over 250. Boy, that LVWR is sure having a heck of a time. Need that over 450. SPRO is having one heck of a time. Hopefully everybody locked in profit on that one. Bruges Energy looks like it wants to curl, but boy, I'm a little leery on that one. Checking in. Good morning. Got a little out of SPRO this morning. Good deal. Yeah, it started moving pretty quick after that press release came out. Manuel, good morning. Thoughts on dip? Yeah, it'd have to dip. If I was going to look at a dip on that one, I think I'd wait to see if it catches this support here right around $2, just under $2. Maybe about 195. I think if it dropped to about 195, I think I'd really pay very close attention to it and see if it holds that as a support area. And if it did, then I would consider the dip. LVWR, come on, get back up over 450. Push, 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 push. We've got 7 minutes until we get to 8 o'clock press releases. Hopefully you guys can stick around for a few more minutes. Maybe we'll get another nice one like SPRO. ASBP, we mentioned that one earlier this morning. It was hitting Momo. It's starting to pop up. ASBP, Aspire Biopharma. ASBP. Alpha, Sierra, Bravo, Papa, for all you military heroes out there. All my veteran brothers and sisters. SGBX. Come on. Needs that to pop. Brog. GPX. Yeah, ASBP. Keep an eye on it here. It just wicked up to about almost 40 cents, 39.9. Pretty dang close to 40. We don't have any news on it this morning, but just in the last, well, we started talking about it early because it started climbing early this morning, and then it kind of fell apart and really wasn't getting any volume. But just here in the last 5 minutes or so, it's been climbing pretty steadily. I just don't trust it much. It is getting a decent amount of volume on the 1 minute chart. It's got a couple of candles here with over 1 million shares traded on it on a 1 minute time frame. But it's getting a decent amount of volume. $26 to $36. Pinky got it. ASBP. Pinky's got them scalps figured out. Those little 10-cent scalps, those are paying off. Still in the hospital. Caught a little SPRO. Good deal. Hopefully you're doing well. Ken, good morning. Let's see, NVTS. NVTS moving up. Navitas Semiconductor, or Navitas, however you want to pronounce it. That one's moving up nicely this morning. NVTS. Again. This one was one yesterday that moved up real nice yesterday. For those of you that caught it yesterday, this one had a super move yesterday from the $4 range up to the $7 range. This one had a real nice move on it yesterday. Fell down a little bit and then went sideways for most of the day. And then into after hours, it went sideways. Now it's starting to climb back up again. Rob, you have a great day. Darn good. We'll see you tomorrow. SPRO trying. We need it over 250. Really want to get that thing over 250. Climb up to 3 and then fill that gap. Fill that gap after that up to $5. That would be sweet. Don't know that it's going to happen, but ASBP falling. NVTS pulled back here a little bit. Managed to spike up to 731. SPRO inching up slowly. Yes, Terry, we need a big 8 o'clock boomer. Let's get an 8 o'clock boomer. What do you say? Everybody ready for an 8 o'clock boomer? Yeah, we're going to keep a very close eye on SPRO today. It's got to break that 250. And once it hits 3 and breaks through 3, we might fill that gap up to 5 if we get the volume. That's what I'm hoping for. All right, we've got about 10 seconds here. Let's see what 8 o'clock gives us. RDZN, Fireside Chat. AMOD, to allocate 25% of forward revenue into crypto assets. AMOD. AMOD. This has a crypto angle to it here. AMOD. IMCC plans to voluntarily delist from the Canadian Securities Exchange. Feeding tube procedures. Major Louisiana hospital selects InVue system for their feeding tube procedures. That's on NAOV. Not big news. Now let's go back and look at AMOD. On their crypto news. They said they were going to allocate 25% of their forward revenue into crypto assets. So we've got a little bit of a crypto angle there to play off of. We got a nice spike there from $1.37 to $2.74. Now it's pulled back a little bit, and now it's winding up again. Let's see if we get a big, big boom. We want that big boom, boom candle. They're going through the press releases still. Conference, growth conference, healthcare conference. Nothing there. Global health conference. God dang, a lot of global health conferences. Nate got AMOD from 198 to 288 on that news. Beautiful. Beautiful. CMPX, Healthcare Conference. KOPN says they're going to be added to the Russell 2000 and the Russell 3000 indexes. Microcap Index, cursory issuer bid. Reach, Jefferies Healthcare Conference. CETX announces a $1.25 million underwritten public offering. CETX. AMOD having a little tough time here getting going. We're going to keep an eye on it. Market seems to like those crypto plays here recently. All right, that was all the news at 8 o'clock. AMOD was about the only one that came out at 8 o'clock that looked like it had any chance at all of moving up. And it did initially on the news, but it's pulling back pretty hard now. But I would keep an eye on it. Those crypto plays have done very well here the last week or so. So I would keep an eye on it. Let's see, SPRO, SGBX, VWR, ASBP curling back up. NVTS, remember that one? Still pushing upwards. For those of you that got some NVTS, up to 749 now. NVTS might go for 9, or for 8. You betcha. ICU announces CMS coverage for Medicare and Medicaid eligible patients. That's getting some play. ICU. Company is C-Star Medical Holdings. Announces CMS coverage for Medicare and Medicaid eligible patients. It's getting a little bit of a push on that. We don't have a lot of volume there yet, though. There's only 56,000 shares traded on it, so it's not much volume. Now, let's go back and look at NVTS. Boom. How many of you got it? How many of you? Come on now. What a nice run. What a beauty. That is running nicely. Wow. Seven, here comes at 8. We will see you at 8. SPRO, I think that stock is I think it's worthy of holding on to for the time being, especially if you've got a good entry on it. I think it's worthy of holding on to. That's just a personal opinion, not financial advice. Um, I might look for a pullback if it starts to drop going into open. Look for support around a buck 95. If it holds support at 195, I might consider playing it a second time on the dip and holding it into open. But if you've got a decent entry on it, it's, for the most part, it's going sideways and consolidating. There's no real need to panic just yet. If you've got a good entry on it. If you don't have a good entry on it and you're in this at 250, 260, you might be panicking a little bit for good reason. And honestly, if you're in at 250, 260, you should have already dumped it. You shouldn't hold on to them and let them drop that far. You got to cut these things loose quick. If you get a bad entry, you got a bad entry. You got to cut them loose quick. You can't hold on to them. These are penny stocks, and they act like penny stocks. And they're going to drop on you really, really quick. Justin, no, I don't have any jury duty today. I called the number yesterday, and they said all jurors are excused. So they must have settled the case out of court. So I didn't have to go. NVTS is going to try to push up again. SPRO still fighting to get back over 250. And that's what we're really looking for there. Is that break of 250. We want that thing to hit 250 on big volume. Viru, NVTS, a little bit of a sell-off happening here. Let's hope that slows down and stops. AMOD looks like it's done falling for the moment and starting to curl back up again. This is the one that had the crypto angle to it. AMOD. So if you were paying attention to that and watching for the pullback and then the signs of reversal, you might do okay on this one. Still not convinced it's going back up yet. Not seeing the volume that we need to see for reversal. Volume is still very light. CGBS, RZLT. RZLT announces that enrollment is complete in their phase 3 multi-center double-blind randomized placebo-controlled study. Well, they threw all the words in there. Phase 3 multi-center double-blind randomized placebo-controlled parallel arm study. But it's kind of fluff news, so I wouldn't pay too close attention to that. SPRO, we've got to get this thing over 250. Now we hit 250. We wicked up to 250 on 1,000,000 shares, which was really good. But what came behind it was absolute garbage. The next candle was just garbage. So we need to do better. We need volume. Volume makes the world go round. Volume is king when it comes to these penny stocks. Volume, volume, volume. We gotta have it. ASBP curling back up. Anybody take that dip on that one? Down in the 27-cent range. What a nice dip area down there. Now SPRO. You see what happens with no volume? Wicks all the way to 250. And then with the lack of volume, just falls apart. You've got to have volume. SGBX. Still waiting on that 150. ASBP pushing back again. 37.5. 30. 40 incoming. 40 cents incoming, hopefully. AMOD still not ready for reversal. So we hold off. We hold off on AMOD. We do not buy that yet. We don't try to guess where the bottom is. We wait for the reversal. And you'll know it when you see it, because you'll see those green candles starting to form, and you'll see the number one big indicator, which is volume. You're going to see the volume starting to pour in on the climb back up. BROG. Come on, man. Push, 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 push. The news came out yesterday on BROG in after hours, and I don't recall off the top of my head what it was, Carrie. I don't remember what the volume or what the news was on that one. Look at ASBP. Boom! Up over 40. I told you 40 was incoming. Up to 42. $42.9. 43. 43 and a half. $44. 45 and a half. 47. We're up 100% now, 126, 130, 140, 152%. Holy cow. Wow. What a beautiful run. How many of you got that? Anybody, raise your hand if you got some of that and took advantage of that mention. Let's see, SPRO still pulling down, SGBX, ASBP. Chris is still in, all right. Thought you might sell off on that big spike. Looks like everything is falling apart for the most part. Still waiting on AMOD. We're not ready to jump on that yet. Not ready to jump just yet. SGBX, still waiting for that pop over 150. It's got a ways to go. SPRO, ASBP. Looks like we wicked to 60. $53. Come on, give us that nice big run. We want Chris to get out at 60. Let's give us that run. CADL announces that the US FDA has granted Regenerative Medicine Advanced Therapy designation for one of their drugs for the treatment of newly diagnosed localized prostate cancer in patients with intermediate to high risk disease. That's on CADL. LVWR is falling apart on us here slowly in front of our eyes, so that's not good. NVTS. Joe, ASBP 35 to 56 and half out. Good trade. Wolfpack is doing very well this morning. ASBP 113% at the moment. Fish and Wreck got ASBP from 34 to 54. Good job. Wolfpack is doing it well. Byron 31 to 50 on ASBP. Looking for 60 here. 54. 54. Come on, need the volume. We've got 3.3 million shares on this 1 minute candle. 3.8 million. Now let's see if this candle does the same. If it does, we should push up close to 60. Come on. It's a slow mover, man. I'm watching level 2. We've got a lot of people selling into the bid. That bid price is going through heavily. Seeing that bid price on the order book. Come on. I want to start seeing the ask price. We'll give it a few more minutes to see what it's going to do. SPRO still looking for that 250 break. ASBP holding up so far. Breaks 50, we're going to get concerned. Or yeah, if it breaks below 50, we're going to be very concerned. Because that could drop down to 40 real quick once it breaks through 50. Just keep a very close eye on it. LVWR. Brog, BROG, that was from after hours last night. It's having trouble. Just not getting enough attention. AMOD, still not ready to jump on AMOD just yet. Volume is still dying off slowly. Looking for 188. Out at 53. There's that break of 50. CADL. CADL had some news this morning. That was the one that had the FDA granted regenerative medicine therapy designation. It's starting to curl up a little bit, not much. Now look what's happening to ASBP. What did I tell you could happen if it broke below 50? It could drop to 40 very quickly. It just dropped to 42. So pretty damn close to 40. And it doesn't look like it's done just yet. Four minutes. Can you stick with us for 4 minutes? Just 4 more minutes, and we'll get the 8:30 press releases before we say goodbye. Now, AMOD. This is where you want to start watching this one. This is where you want to think about your entry here. AMOD. We just hit that 188 that I mentioned. Is that just a random number or is there a method? No, I'm looking at support and resistance areas. I'm looking at volume. Watching the order book on level 2. Most importantly, just the support and resistance areas. ASBP. Now, my assumption was on ASBP that if it broke that 50, it would come down to 40 pretty easily. And we've dropped, so far, we've dropped to 41. And I'm not convinced that it's ready to go back up yet. Volume is drying up a little bit. The bid price is still showing up in the order book, which tells me people are selling into the bid to get out. So we want to wait until we start seeing that curl back up again. I mean, you could take a shot at it here at 42 and, you know, just take a wild stab at it and hope that it bounces from here. But and 42 may be it. 42 may be the bottom. I don't know. Me personally, I like to wait until I see it curling back up. I don't like to try to guess the bottom. I'm sure, like you guys, too many times you try to guess the bottom and it's not the bottom. And you end up with a really horrible entry on something. CLGN, COEP, Monarch Therapies, and Snap Biosciences, a subsidiary of Coeptis Therapeutics, enter a licensing agreement to bolster their cell therapy in oncology. That's on COEP. Ticker symbol COEP. No volume. There's only 100 shares traded on that, so at this point it's a non-event. UHG just popped up on my scanner. United Homes Group. UHG. Got a quick little pop there. Big spread on that one, so be very, very careful. All right, here is the 8:30 stuff. HYLN, selected by the U.S. Air Force and DoD Chief Digital and Artificial Intelligence Office under Military Fuel Initiative. HYLN, selected by the U.S. Air Force. HYLN. ITOS announces its intention to wind down operations. And it is spiking hard on that for some ungodly known reason. ITOS. SCYX resumes patient dosing in their phase 3 clinical trial. Resumption of this dosing triggers a $10 million milestone payment from GSK, plus an additional $20 million milestone payment due in 6 months. So they're going to come into some money here. This is on SCYX. SCYX. Now, let's go back and look at ITOS. ITOS. That was one of the ones I mentioned, that they said they were going to be winding down operations. Companies to focus efforts on selecting best path forward to deliver near-term value to shareholders. Exploring potential asset sales of some drugs and a preclinical obesity program. ITOS. CWO. BTGN Global Conference. GERN. SCWO. That thing spiked. I don't see any news on it, but it spiked and then fell back again. I don't want to keep that on my radar. AZEK. highlighting preclinical investigation. AZTR is going up a little bit. They have a presentation highlighting clinical trial investigating ATR04. AZTR. Doesn't seem to be big news to me. Doesn't seem to be earth-shattering kind of news, but it did move up a little bit. Healthcare conference, annual meeting, healthcare conference. Marketing authorization to wind down operations. ITOS again. Arbot. Well, a lot of healthcare conferences. LCN, Director of Financing. ASBP, SPRO. All right, that was all of the press releases. Oh, got one more here. IBRX price target change. That doesn't help us. All right, so we really didn't get much here at 8:30. ASBP pushing back up again. And where did it bounce off of? Where did ASBP bounce from? $0.40. Right about. Let's hope it gets back up to 60. It'd be nice to get it back up to 60 for everybody that played that bounce down there. All right. Let's see. SCYX resumes patient dosing in their phase 3. Now, they got a big milestone payment. They got 2 milestone payments coming. They got a $10 million milestone payment coming because of resuming their phase 3. And they have another $20 million coming, I think it said, in 6 months. I would keep an eye on that one. I would keep an eye on it. All right. We're going to get out of here. That's on SCYX. SCYX. I'm not saying it's going to go up. I'm not telling you that it's going to go up. I'm just saying pretty good news. They got a couple of nice size milestone payments for resuming their phase 3. They're going to be flush with cash. could be a good play. Might take it a couple of days to do something, but could be a good swing play. Which one had the wind down operations? That was, which one was that? ITOS. Trying to find it again here. ITOS. ITOS. Now that one has gone from 858 to 11 on that press release. All right. You guys have a great day. I'm going to get out of here. We're going to go back here to our Zoom meeting that's going on, and we're going to continue to call out the press releases as they pop up into the market for the Wolfpack. You guys are always welcome to join us. Just pop over to the website, wolfpackcommunity.com, and subscribe to live Zoom trading, and we'll be there. We start at 6:45 in the morning, and we go till about 9:35, 9:40. Depends on what's going on. And then we try to do after hours as well. Let me give you one more here before I say goodbye. EOSE secures a strategic order for Faraday Microgrids project in California. Don't see any dollar amounts. That's always important. You get a press release about a contract or a project, it's good to have some dollars attached to that, because it makes a difference. You know, if it's a $100,000 project or it's a $20 million project, that can make a big difference in stock movement. But I don't see a dollar amount. KC, which is Kingsoft Cloud, talking about their first quarter revenues. HYLN, there's another one. Selected, this is an older press release. This one, we read this one off. Were selected by the Air Force for their multi-fuel initiative, whatever that is, but still no volume, still no price movement. Kind of a non-event. Let's see. Well, let's go back and look at one more here before I say goodbye. That SCWO, that 374 water that popped. Looks like it's trying to climb back up a little bit. All right, you guys have a good one. I will be out and be back again at 4 p.m. for after hours trading. Yesterday in after hours, we had a 92% runner, we had a 70+% runner, and we had a 140% runner in after hours. So it was well worth logging in for after hours yesterday, for sure. And hopefully we can do that again today. Today's already been phenomenal. Just a phenomenal day today so far. So can't complain. I'll see you guys. The CADL, let me take a look. Hang on just a minute. CADL. CADL had a press release this morning. This is the one that they announced the FDA granted them regenerative medicine advanced therapy designation, if that means anything to you, for prostate cancer. Chris, yes, I'm live here on TikTok and YouTube. There's a link to the YouTube channel here on TikTok and also to our website. That's where we do our Zoom meeting every morning. But yeah, I'll be here at 4 o'clock Eastern time, and we'll try to do after hours press releases. Primarily, press releases come out in pre-market, as you all know, and after hours. Some do come in during the day, but not very many. So we try to trade on those press releases in pre-market and trade on them in after hours. That's why the Wolfpack thing is kind of pre-market, after hours, and we don't do much trading. Our Discord is active during the day with stuff, but my live streaming is just pre-market and after hours. But you guys have a good one. Thank you for joining. Thank you for hitting the follow button. I really, really appreciate that. And thank you for hitting the subscribe button on YouTube. Also very much appreciated. And I'll see you guys at 4 p.m. Excuse me. Join us on the website.